Smoothie Monday brought to you exclusively from Salesforce. Each week we'll talk about the previous week's most popular question. We'll also talk about what's new and what's to come. We hope this helps with the training curve and allows you to maximize the most out of Salesforce in your day. All right, hope everybody had a great Easter. As we log into Salesforce this week, this is our last piece of Spring Release 2011 Salesforce training. The search bar is still going to remain at the top, as well as all the other items, and everything over to the left has stayed the same. So your recent items, you use that quite a bit probably. I know I do. And then if you want to create something new really fast, you got that there, as well as your recycle bin. What you will see that's new is your default page is now your home page. That's where we're going to sit for quite a while, so that should not change. Just a quick update on last week we had 2 undeliverables that were sent back from somebody that had the domain name as an embarkmail.com. So we got our IT guys, Salesforce IT guys, a bunch of IT guys to look at it, and they ran some tests. And the first test came back and checked that everything was okay. We'll probably be doing several more tests on Monday and Tuesday to make sure we're good there. So I'll continue to update you through post, as well as we now have the #NA error fixed and resolved. So let me know if you come across that. Moving forward, you shouldn't see that any longer. The only real difference here with your home page is that you will now see 3 charts from the top 3 reports off of a dashboard now reporting on your home page. As a reminder, remember you can always see chatter from your home page or hide chatter by clicking on this button. So if I want to see my news feeds for the day, or as I check it on a periodic basis, I just click on Show Chatter, and this will bring you to my news feeds. All right, so I keep scrolling down. That'll bring you to my snapshot dashboard, my calendar, as well as my task. So let's say, well, that's a lot of information, and I don't like scrolling, so let me go ahead and wrap up my hide chatter. And now you'll just see the snapshot of the dashboard. There's the calendar, and then my task. All right, what I want to do is jump around a little bit because we are going to start reporting from one dashboard, and we're going to do some training around this, and we'll also pick up some of this in the regional meeting. So let's go ahead and dive into this one more. All right, so the dynamic dashboard. So whenever we look at a dashboard, I just want to establish 2 things. A screening date. We all know what a screening date is. But when you're looking at a report, it's going to ask you for a date. And the 2 dates that we'll be using is, number 1, the screening date. When is the screening going to take place? Well, right now, the screenings are going to take place, obviously, this week, which is the last week of April. All right, and another item that you have is, when was the screening, or when was the object that you're looking for created? So let's say I went and just got back from a Sunday announcement. I logged in to Salesforce. I just created it today. Now the screening date could be for next week. It could be for next month. It could be for next July. It could be for a time frame that isn't determined, or we determine it, but isn't shown. So a created date is when I entered it and created it into the computer, and the screening date is actually when the participants are going to come and get screened. All right, so as simple as that may sound, that's really important as we go back over to take a look at these dashboards. All right, I want to make sure everybody's all using the same dashboard, so let's come over here and click on Customize Page. As we click on Customize Page, I was working on BD last, so let's go ahead and click on this and scroll all the way down. You won't have all of these. Scroll all the way down to the bottom to where you see Spring Release 2011 folder. The bold is the folder, and then those are the items within that folder. So go ahead and click on the item HSC Spring Release 2011. So once you're there, go ahead and click on Save. And what we did is we just pulled up a dashboard, and I'm going to come into the dashboard to show you what's pulling up, so that way you know what's coming into your home page. Is I'm coming over here, and the dashboard that I'm looking at, I'm going to select it, View Dashboard, scroll all the way down, and I'm looking at the folder Spring Release 2011 and clicking on the item within that folder. So this is the item or the dashboard that we're viewing within our home page as a snapshot. So real high level, we can have up to 15 different reports that we all can work from this dynamic dashboard. Now, what makes it dynamic is that everybody can use the same dashboard. You saw here behind the curtain how, oh my goodness, look at all of these, right? I have to have a dashboard for each person. All right, when you create a dynamic dashboard, they just plug in their name on who it's going to be used for. Now, of course, you can only see you, okay, because that's the way the settings are set. But so now I'm viewing the dashboard as myself. All right, so we're going to be building and adding reports based off of your suggestion on what you would like to see. I just put for now the sign up and then the MAR. This week I'll probably also put in here your HTML report, your undeliverable reports, your educational workshop reports, and any other reports that you would like to see. Please get that information over to your RSM. I'm going to drill down into this chart, and by doing so, all I have to do is click into the chart, and it'll bring me to that underlying report. Now let's talk about how the reports are set up. So the first thing that I always look at is what object or custom object is this data pulling from. So this is pulling in, show me all of my signups. So it's pulling in from the custom object of your signups. And now what I want it to do is it gets all of that data, right? And I want to say, okay, obviously I don't want to see all that data all at once because that's just a big bunch of data. And how do I want to filter it? I want to come in and I want to summarize all of that data by what appointments have been made and what appointments have not been made. So if it's equal to yes, the appointment was made, that's what I want to know. If it was no, because it was whatever reason, disconnected, the screening was full, the line was busy, we left a message, I don't care. I just want to see either the appointment was made or it wasn't made. So that's how we're going to be viewing the data, and that's how I have the summarized filter set up. The next thing that you need to know that we just talked about is how and what do you want to see this time frame pulled up. So right now we're getting all of the signups that either have a yes or a no, and I want to see it from the screening date. So the actual participants are going to come to the screening date of this month. So this is a great report. Let's say we're getting close to the end of the month. You're like one sign up short from going to that next level tier to get the Big Cat Daddy commission. So here's the first area that I would work. I would come in and I would pull this report. Now, I don't have any signups, so if I click on Run Report, you're going to see 0 records. So what I'm going to do, just for example purposes, I'm going to click on All Signups. Now, you won't be able to do this because of the permissions, but I'm just using this as an example. And it's going to be a lot of signups, and we don't want to wait all day, especially with this computer. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, I want to see all the signups within, let's say, let's do this. You can click on the last 7 days, and it changes the date for you. But what I want to do is I want to say what days are left. I want to see maybe who I can push to a screening those last few days that maybe did not sign up yet that I went and did a workshop for. Next, you're going to click on Run Report. Now, it's key that you run the report and not save the report because we're all working from the same report. So if you save it, you're going to save the filters for the next person. So just click on Run Report, and if you want to keep it for yourself, click on Save As. And then you're going to report, I would put it in, scroll all the way up to the top, I would put it in My Personal Custom Reports if you want to save yourself a report. That's how I would do it. And then name it where the red is. All right, I'm going to go back real fast. And so this tells me the screening dates for the last 2 days of the month for all the signups. So we've got 4 records that the appointment made. See, there's a checkbox there. Because it's not checked, that tells me that there's been no appointment made. So let's say Diane or Jill or Mark, they're on the borderline. They can come in and they can see what's going on with these participants. So this guy left a message. He was already scheduled. 2 guys here were not interested, so you might want to make them a phone call, however you want to work the report. And then you scroll down, and you see that 57 of them, you see there's a checkbox, and that means that the appointment was made. All right, so let's take a look at this exact same report, and now what we want to do is we want to see, we had a huge Sunday announcement sign up, or let's say last Wednesday we went to a senior luncheon, and we want to see where those sign-up stands. So what we're going to do, again, you'll be in My Sign-Ups because that's your filter. Now what you'll want to do, instead of looking at the screening date, you want to say, I created date. I created these sign-ups within what period of time. So you look at the range, and I'm going to say that I created it, let's take a look at the last 7 days. So I came in and I created these sign-ups. Now these sign-ups could have been for next week, they could have been for next month, they could have been for the month of August. We'll take a look at the specific date of the screenings in just a second. But I want to take a look at the status of the stuff that I created in the last week. So I click on created date, it's going to be my sign-ups, and then you'll put in your range, and then click on run report. So now you can take a look and see where we stand with those. 17 of them, they don't have the box checked. You would be able to scroll over and kind of see the status on where everything stands. We're going to be going over more in detail at the regional meeting, but I just wanted to go over how to read this dynamic dashboard and how to use them moving forward. Same is true for your MAR report. So you'll click within the average room rent. Next, what you'll do is you'll say, I want to see the screening date, and you might want to come in here. This is what I would normally do for this deadline, and you would plug in the deadline period, or last deadline, or next deadline. So you just put the screening date period, all right, whatever the screening date deadline is, my screenings, and then you'll click on run. So you can see I created within this deadline period 2 records, and then all the detail is below. If you have any questions, follow up with your RSM. Until next time, may the force be with you. Salesforce, that is.